Boom.
Here we are.
BJJ, live on YouTube. Martial Stamper, Tahric fan, bringing you all the biggest news in martial arts, mostly jiu-jitsu and UFC.
Mostly Gordon Ryan.
Mostly
and Conor
Gordon
McGregor.
Ryan.
And today we have a surprise. We're going to talk about Gordon Ryan and
Again.
Gordon Ryan's tummy. So,
Yeah, what's up with this tummy, man?
well, I'll read a verse from the Church of Gordon Ryan. I'm taking some time. I was going to make 2 posts, but I posted the stomach update in slide 2 and 3. I came back for ADCC 2022, which I barely made it to with my stomach. After ADCC, I got overconfident and went ahead and started competing again, which was against my initial plan. The 4th pennant camp was the hardest I ever pushed my body. The last 2 weeks, my body shut down, and after my best camp ever, I couldn't compete. Then, because of my stomach issues, my suppressed immune system took 45 days on antibiotics to clear a simple strep throat infection, which then colonized in my tonsils. I also have strep and staph in my intestines, needing them to be removed. It took me 6 months to recover from that camp. Crying, laughing face. What I went through these last few...
crying, laughing,
no, probably not. What I went through these last few weeks wasn't fun. I was bedridden for weeks without eating. My stomach was full of bile, spending 3 to 4 hours a day belching and dry heaving in the bathroom. While living that, I finally accepted and came to peace with the fact that my body can't handle the amount of pressure I put it under until my stomach and immune system is 100% better.
Yeah, it's tough.
My immune system simply can't handle the workload of camp after camp. I'm going to attempt to, as hard as this is, to not return to competition until my stomach is on paper is 100% better. I don't care how much money I lose. I don't care what people think. I cannot live like this. When people say that nothing in life matters but your health, they are absolutely right. That's true. That's all you have, really. Feeling like I have been, I'll trade it all just to be healthy. As much as it pains me, I'm going to attempt to step away from all competitions except ADCC until my stomach is 100% healthy on paper. By the tests and by how I feel. Working at half better is only working on borrowed time until my body shuts down again from the workload I put on it. Taking however much time I need to get 100% healthy, I believe it will be better long term, obviously, for day-to-day life, but also competition success and reliability as an athlete showing up. As hard as it is, I will only be competing at ADCC until my health is 100% restored. And if not, no one will ever do what I've done. So I can be at peace with that.
True.
Love you all.
Yeah?
I wouldn't say ever.
Oh, because Joseph Chen's just warming up.
Joseph Chen's just warming up. Also, forever's a long time.
Forever's a long time.
Records get broken often. I mean, we have a book full of records being broken.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think of that?
You know, I think this is a long time coming. Gordon Ryan's been sick for years. I mean, I don't really remember a dominant Gordon Ryan that didn't have tummy issues. This started way back when he was in New York. According to him, it started because he did just too many antibiotics fighting staph infections.
Yeah.
He talks about this work ethic. You know, he's taken no days off for years. And that's kind of the whole Danaher squad ethos. They train twice a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, we go hard.
They go hard, no breaks. And that never quite made sense to me. I take lots of breaks. I love a break. I love a day off. I like 2 to 3 days off a week. Like that's nice.
Yeah.
And he's done 2 to 3 days off in 10 years.
Yeah.
And so once you're sick, I wonder if he just taken a month off 7 years ago, if all this could have been avoided. And I guess we'll never know, right? It's just an idea.
Yeah,
Maybe,
obviously
maybe
he has a a genetic like proclivity to it. Otherwise, this would be happening to all the team, you know. So it's
No, I
it's
think
not
he did
just
like, I mean, maybe also that, but he did like an
antibiotics.
extraordinary amount, like a crazy, just all the time on antibiotics. And antibiotics, they're like a wonder of medicine, right? They save lives, but you're not supposed to live on them. They're not vitamins. You know, they destroy gut biome. Biome? Is that word? Biome? Flora.
destroy your gut biome. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a bummer. It sucks. And I wish he would compete more because that's how jiu-jitsu guys get money.
Yeah.
Is Gordon Ryan competes.
Yeah.
That's how people sell tickets.
Yeah, he's where the money is. He's the big show.
He's the big show.
In jiu-jitsu. So
He's kind of the only guy.
it's a big loss.
It's a big loss.
Yeah, it's a big loss to not
I guess
have.
I can finally call him out. I can finally start my Gordon Ryan call-out campaign. Because he's ducking me, guys. This is, if you read between the lines, he's ducking me.
Who else is ducking you? You have some call-outs. We had a request from Coach Dimitri asking Marshall if there's anybody he would want to call out. Who would he call out?
Number 1, Gordon Ryan. Number 2, Tahric. Taric's been ducking me for years. I think we have a great match. Both brown belts. I give him the size advantage. What would you weigh in at if we had a match?
77.
77 kilograms. I was about 70 kilograms, and I myself got sick last week, and now I'm about 48 kilograms. There's one guy, one Taiwanese man I would love to have a match with. There was a point in time when he was far and away the most successful Taiwanese jiu-jitsu competitor. He's around my size. He's a man named Lin Yo. Lin Yo and I have met one time in competition before. This was a cool submission-only match run by PMA's Chris. I met Lin Yo in the first round. I had no confidence. I looked at this guy a lot. He's strong. He's competitive. He's very good at jiu-jitsu. And I heel hooked him very fast. It was a very quick victory. I've never seen him get submitted in competition before. I don't know anyone who's done it. I'm sure that lives in his mind. I think he'd like to get that back. I think he'd like to dominate me in a ring. I think it'd be a good match. And you know, even though I won the first match, he'd probably still be the betting favorite.
Yeah, he does train every day.
He trains all the time.
He runs a gym. He's always training.
He's an Andre Galvao black belt.
Yeah.
He's very good. And so I think me and him in a no-gi match, I think it would be very, very interesting. In the long run, the match I'd like is a nice Taiwanese-American man named Kai Wu. He fights for PFL. He trains with Mark Zuckerberg and Dave Camarillo. I don't know how good he is at jiu-jitsu, but he's like a pseudo-Taiwanese celebrity guy. Trains jiu-jitsu, got Dave Camarillo in his corner. I think that'd be awesome. So those are my 4 matches. Gordon Ryan, Tahric, Lin Yo, the most real one, and then Caillou down the line. I think that'd be cool. What do you think?
These all sound like cool matches.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Can I tap Lin Yo very fast again?
I don't know. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. Yeah.
How's your heel hook defense, bro?
Yeah, you never know. You never know. There's certain things that, yeah, if you're not like always in the ooze of the full community and you're having things off to yourself, you could surprise people.
And I have a very unorthodox jiu-jitsu game. And this has been frustrating to Tahric because he only trains with me. He goes trains with other people like, they're doing things differently.
Yeah, why do they do that way?
Yeah, people do things differently than me. I have a very weird body type. I train at home. I watch 10 Planet Techniques. I'm out there, guys. To my advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the question, Coach Dimitri. And I know, Dimitri, one thing that he does that's very incredible, he puts on these Kodiak Cup tournaments at his gym in Taichung. And so it's not just asking me a question, for the fun of it. He's a event promoter. We talked about trying to sell tickets or get eyes on the prize. And yeah, man, reach out to Lin Yo. What else we got, Tahric?
Linyo, what are you saying? Richard asked more about the fighting, the street fighting thing.
Last week we talked a lot about street fighting.
Yeah, we didn't. We're not. I don't think neither of us are like experts in street fighting. I've just seen
I'm
when
confident in it.
Yeah, I've watched some World Star videos. I see some very fast knockouts.
Do you guys ever pull guard on World Star? Ever seen it?
Not that I've seen. I'm sure it's on there.
Yeah.
But I haven't done. I've seen actually. I did watch one video once where I don't know if it came from World Star, but I saw it on Instagram where there's these basketball players and they got into like a scuffle, and the guy pulls guard.
Really?
He pulls guard, and he goes. They grapple. They wrestle around for a while, and then he has him in Ashi.
Really?
And he said, and he holds his foot. He's like, "You'll never play basketball again." And then everybody just say, "All right."
Whoa.
Yeah. He held him in a heel hook. He said, "You'll never play basketball again." Like this is a real video. I don't think
so
it didn't
scary.
look like it was acting. It was crazy. Yeah. So that's what I've seen. I mean, I'm sure that was a good situation for that guy, and it doesn't always work out where you get to heel hook your opponents.
Yeah, cool last words too. I will say this, that in any situation, in a match or in a street fight, there's a big difference between sitting down and pulling guard. Just sitting down is not what I'd recommend to anybody ever, really.
Yeah, sitting down and scooting around on your butt. What people complain about in jiu-jitsu, that the butt scooting, that's not a great idea.
It's not great.
It's good for this game, but not. Yeah.
Pulling guard is you get a grip, maybe a couple grips, an over-under, you're pummeling, and then you pull them down to a situation where strikes are not so easy. So for example, I go deep overhook and control on the far arm, and control the bicep, and from there pull guard. I have lots of options, got a neck, can play rubber guard. If he stands up, it's easy to trip him. Yeah, I don't see why that would be like a laughable, terrible idea. Unless the ground is made of glass. You go down and cut yourself immediately.
Yeah, the ground is not a pleasant thing. And,
it's not pleasant, but it's not so bad either.
No, it's not out of.
We could do jiu-jitsu on that ground.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
Tough,
yeah, it's not crazy, but. Yeah, so I don't know. There's
What do you think, Richard?
Yeah, as far as this, because I actually talked to Richard because he was talking about.
Oh yeah, what does he think?
He was first saying, he doesn't. Striking on the streets, even though Richard is a boxer, striking on the streets, doesn't like it because of the danger of, people falling and dying.
Yeah, so that's number one concern.
Danger.
Number one concern, someone falls uncontrollably and hits their head.
Yes.
That's
and
terrible.
that's the most real danger to me that's apparent if you're outside on concrete.
Yeah.
That's somebody falling and hitting their head, that's where probably the most harm will come, is just the gravity and them on the concrete. So that is one reason why I think any grappling is good for real situations. If you're trying not to hurt the person and you could control a person better than most people, right? That's ideal.
Get
so
them
I think
to the ground safely.
Yeah, so I think it works. Yes, ideally, in an ideal situation where you feel you have the obvious advantage, that's good. But if you're fighting for your life, then it's whatever you can. You're going to be striking. You're not just going to be grappling. Yeah, so when it comes to self-defense, there are levels of self-defense where it's a fight between two guys. Like you have a problem with me? Like, and it starts like that. That's one kind of self-defense, and then there's a self-defense where you're like really defending yourself, where you're not winning. So to me, in my brain, the jiu-jitsu is very good for that part when you're just not winning.
Worst case scenario.
When something's gone really bad and now you're on your back and somebody's on top of you. And it's good to know something in that horrible situation as well.
Yeah.
Like you can't only think of the part where you just knock the guy out or where you just take him down and heel hook him. That's not really. That's not all of. That doesn't encompass self-defense.
Yeah, take him down like Hoist Gracie.
Yeah. That doesn't encompass self-defense, but yeah, some like the idea of somebody being on top of you, or somebody even like they're choking you, like, and that is something that you train that most people don't train.
Yeah.
Like being in a bad situation and somebody is doing something to you. Oh, look at these birds flying around. If we could only show this beauty.
If only you guys could see what we see.
Yeah, so that's my thought on jiu-jitsu and self-defense. I think like judo is really good because it does start standing and it does do the ground stuff. But I think if you're a good striker, it's an definitely advantage. But there's always the danger of like somebody getting very hurt from falling down.
Yeah, too hurt. And that's why when people come to jiu-jitsu for the first time, I go, okay, we start self-defense. Here's how you fall. Break your fall. Don't hit your head. Here's how you stand up. Technical stand-up. Worst case scenario, not worst, but one of the worst things that could happen is you're in a fight and you fall. Like nothing even happens. Just sometimes
You fall.
people fall all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe you get pushed. Something's on the floor. You fall. You hit your head. Nothing even happened in the fight, and now you're brain damaged. That's nobody wants that.
Yeah, brain damage.
So fall down, break your fall, don't hit your head, stand up, don't stand up close to the guy, take a knee to the face.
Yeah.
They're like super basic. That's what I consider their like 5-minute self-defense course. And in jiu-jitsu class, you've come into my class for fundamentals. We're practicing that all the time. Break your fall, stand up. Break your fall, stand up. That should be second nature to anyone who does jiu-jitsu. And even though it doesn't really come up that much in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you don't really do it in jiu-jitsu. I did do a break fall in real life. I didn't even know that what was happening. Like it came. This was like right before I came back to Taiwan. I was showing off for my son with a soccer ball.
Oof.
And like doing the
my dad's story started like
deking
that.
myself out, and I stepped on the ball, and my foot just rolled on the ball, and it like the way that my foot hit the ball and the way my body was going, it was just so that like my body like rolled on the ball.
Wow.
Like I rolled on the ball a little bit and I just fell on my back, and I thought, it all happened so fast. So there's like I came to kind of like this, and I'm laying there thinking, oh my God, something must be hurt from that fall. This is terrible. How am I gonna go? How am I gonna work? What am I doing? What am I doing with that ball? And then I get up. I'm like, oh, everything's. Everything was fine.
Did you get up like
I always get up like that. Not necessarily a variation of that. I don't always do the hand out, but I do always do a variation of this tripod sit up. Always, and I always get out of bed by I pendulum my feet. This is how I get up out of bed, like. Just because this is like, these are efficient motions that you're using for moving around on the ground and stuff, and yeah, sometimes this happens. So yeah, self-defense is, there's different parts of it. There's like you defending yourself without hurting the other person, you defending yourself at all costs. These are levels of possible self-defense, right?
And what about a guy breaks into your house and he's got nunchucks? What about that level of self-defense? That's out of my.
That is.
I don't
That
know
is out
about
of
this
my.
at all. I do have nunchucks in the house.
Yeah.
Keep them there for
I'm
my
thinking
protection.
I'm thinking double leg. Maybe take one hit.
Double leg.
One hit from the nunchuck. Just run into him. If he can't swing those things around, but he might choke you with them. But yeah. So.
Choking with nunchucks, huh?
Yeah, but man, yeah. So self-defense is there's nothing. It's not a real thing you could really plan for if you're talking about real world stuff. No. But I think always knowing how to move your body around, knowing how to control other people, it's very helpful.
There's a lot of it's come to Taiwan, a lot of like self-defense jiu-jitsu groups where they practice scenarios but they don't roll. Mm-hmm. You know about this?
I've seen something like this. Yes, I've seen something like this.
I think if they actually rolled, they'd be more prepared for what they're preparing for.
Yeah, because rolling even though rolling is kind of like one-dimensional, you're always mostly on the ground and not trying to stand up, it does prepare you a little bit more for unpredictable things to happen.
And it's terrifying.
Yeah, unpredictable things to
Practice
happen.
being
Your
terrified.
reflexes. I'm pretty good at catching things that are falling off the counter. I don't know if that makes me I don't know if that makes me a superhuman.
I've had the experience a couple times. Like in Taipei, if guys live on the roof sometimes, like a lot of foreigners do, they don't have a buzzer to open the door, and they'll throw a key to you. And I went to this guy's house 2 times. He threw a key from 5 stories up, and I caught it. What's up, guys?
It's pretty superhuman.
You guys want private lessons?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to say. These are unpredictable situations, and then it could all go wrong, and you could still lose and get knocked out, and be like, "See, what good was that self-defense you learned? What good was that?" It's all chances, like increasing your chances slightly.
It's all chances, and I get a little worried that like people who have this in their mind a lot, that they kind of manifest these situations. If you're out and about and you're always thinking like, oh, what happened to that guy? And then all of a sudden you're like looking at that guy, and he's like, why is this dude looking at me? And things can happen, kind of. You know, are you kind of hoping for something? You start hanging out in areas where things might happen. Oh, I heard there's a fight there last weekend. Yeah, let's go check it out.
Oh, you don't want to be that.
Test my.
No, you don't want to be that involved. You don't want to. You don't need to live it.
No.
But sometimes it is good to wonder, like that guy over there in the corner. What would I do to him? That's a fun game. Just don't act on it.
This is what you're doing?
Yeah.
That guy? Kamar him into the ground.
These guys in this room, I think I could kill him.
Smash that bottle.
Yeah, that guy looks pretty strong. I don't know.
But then what are you doing? Like if I'm at the bar, I'm just there drinking a craft beer.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'd kill that guy.
Dressed a little goofy. Nobody sizes me up appropriately.
Exactly. So it doesn't work, but it's like a, what do you call that? A rule for many things. Is that a heuristic?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
What are you trying to say? It's a rule of thumb?
Yeah, it's a rule of thumb. Like, reasonably, you would think that Shaquille O'Neal would be a more difficult fighting match than me, right?
Yeah.
So it has to, even if maybe it doesn't exist to you at a small scale, it exists to you at a large scale. So there's some scale at which this kicks in where you say, this person looks more formidable than this person.
Yeah. And what if me and you are together? This would be a good business for us. Start bar fights and take bets.
Yeah.
Like, all right, how long could I last in a
Yeah.
match against this guy? What do you think?
Might be a good racket.
You think I could last a minute? No, not a minute.
Yeah. I don't know. So self-defense is a tough one. It's a very requires a lot of imagination. There's some people that are very good at it. Like, you have to train your army a certain way, but some of those soldiers will die. They're both trained in the art of self-defense. So there's certain things that work better than others, but it's hard to. Some of these, they're hard to test. I think my evidence points to MMA is just the best self-defense.
Yeah.
Period. Nothing comes close to it.
I would say
but
so.
I don't want to train MMA. So there's a trade-off. Even though I know that if I would like to defend myself, MMA would be the best route to go. I don't want to train MMA. I don't want to get hit. I don't want to. I'm not interested in that part of the training. So I do take that trade-off.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Because we live in such a safe place. Like Taiwan, self-defense. It's like don't ride a scooter. It's Taiwan self-defense.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want to be on the scooter most of the time.
Yeah, it's very dangerous, and yet we do it. But we know jiu-jitsu, so.
We got some good UFCs coming up.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about 297, Sean Strickland, but
It's this weekend, yeah?
Yeah. It's this weekend. Where is it? So what do you think of that fight? Duplessi. First of all,
I think it's fantastic.
the whole fight that it looks like it's gonna be amazing. I think two very different styles. Duplessis has kind of a charging forward, like hail of punches type style, and Sean Strickland kind of a more surgical type boxer, but I don't know.
Jab and defend.
Yeah, can he stand the pressure of Duplessis? moving forward like the way he does. Like what he did to Whitaker was wild.
It's wild.
Yeah, he put
Yeah, so we haven't seen. I haven't seen much of Duplessis fighting. Like he had that Robert Whitaker fight, which blew me away.
Yeah, that's
I
all
just thought
that's,
Robert Whitaker
that's
is
all
like
I've
one of
seen
the
from
best
him.
ever, and then he got smoked. And then I was seeing Duplessis. He did like a quintet style jiu-jitsu tournament in South Africa, and he took out a whole team. So his grappling's good, his striking's good, and he's got some fire behind him. So I don't know. The interesting thing that I heard is Israel Adesanya Stylebender says that Duplessis is gonna submit. He's gonna take down and submit Sean Strickland, and I think that'd be insane to see. Because all we've seen from Sean Strickland is just this incredible striking ability. He's got this weird, they call it a Philly shell style, where he's like doing this stuff with incredible jabbing. And so if it goes to the ground and he gets submitted, I think that'd be awesome. You know, famously, Sean Strickland recently threw his jiu-jitsu black belt in a trash can.
Oh yeah, he's so funny.
He says it was a waste of time.
Strickland
And so if he
is
gets submitted,
hilarious.
I think that'd be just funny. I don't know.
I think Strickland is he's a hilarious guy, and I think
Yes.
yeah, he's an interesting champion because a champion is the spokesperson for the league
Yeah.
at that point. So he's a very interesting champion, but I think
What like a time in life, like cancel culture is high.
Yeah.
So
But I
much,
think-
so many things you're not supposed to say. He's saying.
it is true. He says some wild stuff.
It's
But I think
crazy.
because like the UFC's association with Dana White keeps this okay. I think
Yeah.
once Dana White leaves, I don't know if they'll tame down UFC fighters,
It's
but
so possible.
it's possible because
Yeah.
Dana White is not a tame guy. He says crazy stuff too.
Yeah.
So he has this culture in the company. So if once he leaves, and he'll have to leave at some point.
Fight. Terrifying thought, yeah. If no Dana White, if Sean Strickland's just getting fined every time he says something crazy, it's like $1,000. It'd be a different company.
It's a possible future.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Bummer.
they're together with the WWE.
The
Who bought into
same
who?
parent company.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that means if they could go by WWE standards, they could stay
Even then, man, WWE is for children. Like
Yeah,
you can't
it's
say
pretty tame.
actual crazy stuff. It's just like personified. Like you're not cool. Oh.
Okay.
You know, like, they
it's
don't
not-
actually
it's
go
not
that-
wild.
Sometimes we can find examples of them being wild, but
Yeah.
like no, it's a kid's show.
It's not UFC.
Yeah, they're not actually doing like cultural. Like Sean Strickland, like his shirt. I think he's selling merch as like a woman in every kitchen and a gun with every man. That's his catchphrase. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. So he's going to Toronto this weekend. I saw a thing with a reporter asking him questions about the LGBT, his feelings about it, and Sean's like, "What's your problem?" Like kind of like he's like, "You don't want to have grandkids," things like this. So Strickland is he's an interesting guy, and he's very interesting to have. Yeah, he's almost like a mascot for that kind of thought. What would he be the mascot be for? Like the salt of the earth type. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
what's a word for that?
yeah,
Anti-woke seems a bit too much, but kind of like that.
yeah.
It's good. I like hearing him. I like watching him fight. And Dricus Duplessis is very dangerous. This is a real fight. I'd say it's like a coin toss.
Yeah, it is because I personally don't know that much about Dricus other than the Whitaker fight.
Yeah.
But
Which was insane.
yeah,
Absolutely
he
insane.
steamrolled through. So then we have the topic of the BMF title. So UFC 300. UFC 300 is it's not bad, not looking bad. We got Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. Jim Miller recently won by face crank. Figueiredo. We got so listen to this. The co-main is the strawweight belt, but the main is the BMF title.
Yeah. So the women's strawweight is the co-main. It's two Chinese ladies, Zhang Wei Li in Yanshaonan. And that I just think like a real issue is that there's like so much pressure on the UFC to have like a dope UFC 300. I don't exactly know why. I think it's just because 100 was awesome.
Because it's a round number.
And
that's all. People have like weird associations with numbers. So
Yeah.
every round number, but it makes sense. Like you celebrate your 1 year or something.
Sure.
Your birthday is yearly. It's not a round number though.
Yeah, but like it's a weird amount of pressure to put on this one event.
300 has to be the biggest.
Because this happened with UFC 200, and it was kind of a flop. They brought in Brock Lesnar for no reason. He was
But
on
they
all
do
the
this- they do
steroids.
this
They
with
gave him an
every-
exemption. It was like it was all right, but like I don't think you have to put all this pressure on something. But UFC 300, they're doing that. They're putting pressure on it, and they didn't have like a real title to carry an event. You know, Zhang Weili, she's incredible, but she's not a superstar in the sense of like selling out tickets and selling out an arena.
Yeah.
And so they feel pressure to put on a title match, and so they have this fake title, this BMF title. Can we even say what it stands for? Should we even?
Bad motherfucker. Yeah.
And so this is just something that like the first time it
It's funny.
happened
It's
was
a funny title.
the first time it
The
happened
BMF
was I liked it the first time when Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz had a match for the
Yeah, 'cause
BMF
it seemed like
title.
a one-time gimmick.
The Rock was gonna give it out to the winner, and it was just two older dudes who probably won't win belts, especially Nate Diaz. He's that time is long gone when he was a title contender. Jorge Masvidal had one little chance in him and didn't work out for him, and it's just crazy that like they keep doing BMF matches and kind of treating it like it's a real, like there's no lineal, like
It doesn't go anywhere.
yeah, like Jorge Masvidal won the first one, awesome, and then he fought Kamaru Usman and got knocked out. So it's Usman,
Yeah, Usman is the real BMF.
he's the BMF, and then he lost to Leon Edwards. Is Leon Edwards?
Leon Edwards is the real BMF.
So why is Justin Gaethje?
The BMF always goes to the champion of the division.
It has to,
that's
right?
the lie. That's the lie, because the BMF always, the BMF title almost it gives you a nudge towards an actual title fight, and then when
I guess.
and then when the actual champion wins, he should be taking the BMF belt too. But
Yeah, so the winner of this one, I suppose, fights Islam Makhachev. Isn't that already? Like he's the dominant champion. Isn't that the BMF?
he's not the BMF yet. He must unify the two. He must unify the two belts. He's not the BMF yet.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly silly, incredibly unnecessary, but it will be a great fight. Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. That is a cool fight. So I guess that's the main event, UFC 300. Lightweight fight. Max Holloway, former featherweight champion. I guess he's a lightweight now. Maybe just for this, just to chase that strap, just to get the BMF. I don't know. The whole thing's a little weird. It's a little forced.
I think they're just.
But
I
it
think
will
it's
be
like
entertaining.
these
It
guys
will be
will not.
good.
These guys will not be champion. What you think? Yeah, I think these guys are both. Max Holloway, I believe he's definite. I cannot say definitely. It seems as if he's not in the title run. He's not.
Featherweight?
Yeah, he's not as a lightweight.
Oh, as a lightweight?
Yeah, as a lightweight. I don't know if he's.
I think you'd
I
have
don't see
you'd have
him
to
making
win.
a title
You'd have
run.
to win some matches.
Yeah.
And Max Holloway, he's like the number 2 featherweight of all time. Like he destroyed everyone in the division until Volkanovski came around.
Yeah, and Volkanovski.
And
I don't.
Volkanovski got him barely. Like very controversial judges' decisions. Very, very close fights, but twice.
Yeah.
So it's a fun fight, but the fact that it's BMF is very unnecessary.
They're both gonna take damage.
I
This
think
could
it's
be
kind of
their.
gross.
It's almost like, I think it's almost like the UFC is trying to throw them a bone, like, you guys are not going to be champion, but here's a chance.
But
Here's
Justin
a chance
Gaethje
at-
could. Like
here's a chance
he's
at
in title
something.
contention. He can fight Islam Makhachev. I don't know if he would win, but like he's got a chance.
Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah. So you think he's too close to the the top of the division to risk it for the BMF belt. He could lose badly in the BMF. He could get knocked out for this.
That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Because I think Gagey just wants to fight, but just like I think they could just fight, you know. But I guess it's just like they can't have Zhang Weili be the main event. Just doesn't have the star power. Doesn't really speak that much English.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know all the other champions are kind of busy.
Yeah.
So it's all right.
Yeah, they're both Chinese fighters. They're not going to be. It's not going to be that big like for pay-per-view in the U.S.
Yeah.
I don't see
It's gonna
it.
be big in China.
Yeah, it would be huge in China.
Do they pay-per-view in China? Is that an option?
I don't know. I'm sure they watch. I'm sure they watch it there somehow.
Yeah.
Bohovska's fighting. Rakic, I don't know much about him.
Dangerous guy.
Aljamain is going to be fighting Calvin Cater.
It's fantastic.
Yes. Is Cater a good, what's his grappling like?
I don't know. I always see him standing up, getting beat up. He can take a punch. That's what we know about him.
5-0 Bo Nickel.
Yeah. I love
gonna be
I'm
fighting there.
all in on Bo Nickel. I think Bo Nickel is just going to kill everybody in the coming years. This is his 6th fight. And
5-0. 5-0-0.
5-0. He's got knockouts. He's got submissions. He might be the best wrestler in the UFC. We say that a lot, but he might be. He's actively training with the Penn State wrestling team. He's still there. It's crazy. I've never heard of that before. Like an active UFC fighter training with a high-level wrestling team. Maybe someone else does it, but it's awesome. It's very incredible.
Oliveira versus Arman. Don't know how to say that name.
Tsarukyan. That could be a BMF fight.
Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. Actually, this is good.
That's very cool.
The undercard is really good.
Yeah.
Jim Miller versus...
Is facing up to be a pretty awesome event.
Yeah, the main event is a interesting choice, but yeah.
It's kind of nonsense.
The undercard's looking good.
Yeah. Is that it? Anything else to say?
There's nothing else to say.
Not a lot of juice coming through the news waves these days.
Nothing else to say.
You want to call it anyone? You want to have a match?
Not really.
No?
Not really.
Not very interested?
Not very interested, no.
What about this weekend? There's a tournament in Taipei. You interested?
In competing?
Going to watching.
I don't know.
Standing on the sidelines at a gi tournament.
I don't think... I'll see. I'll check my schedule, but I don't think I'll be going there.
Yeah? Schedule pretty busy?
Yeah, schedule's pretty busy.
Okay. We get any comments today? Really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Comments? Anybody watching us?
Let's see here. Phil says, manifesting fights. That's why I hang around Tahric. I'm just waiting for him to say something on me so I could show him what a white belt can do.
Bring it, Phil. Fight this man.
And Kerry Morgan says, I want Sean to address Duplessis kissing his coach on the mouth.
Yeah, I heard about that from Sean, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if this is a real photo.
Of them kissing?
Yeah. Is that a culture? Is that South African culture? Let's see. Duplessis kiss. Why does Duplessis kiss his... Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty wild for real. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Their eyes closed, face embraced, middle of the octagon.
There's a kiss. There's definitely a kiss on the lips.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Something to address. But hey,
definitely.
Hey, if that's what they're into.
It's definitely wild. I've never seen anything like it.
I didn't expect that. But yeah. That's all I got. Shall we show this double underpass? Not over underpass. Over underpass.
Sure. We decided we're gonna start passing guards. Who did you learn this move from? You got a shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Will, Big Will, at Geek Base.
Fat Cat Will.
Fat Cat Will. Will Sung, I think it is. I might be wrong, but Lawyer Will. He's been training with Marcelo Garcia. He's now Marcelo Garcia brown belt. Shout out to Will. But yeah, he was crushing me with this pass. and I had to ask him what he was doing and why it was so effective. And he gave me some details on making it a little bit more crushing, and I was crushing Marshall with it, testing it out yesterday, see if it works. It works not bad. I still gotta work on it, but yeah, it's working. Wah, wah, oh, hold on. Oh, I should change me pants. It's okay.
Tahric is not prepared for training. Where are the pants?
Oh, in these pants. So, according to Big Willie, this is what he said. He said when you're training with these high level guys, you can never lose this knee shield. So, but if you can get around the knee shield, he's going here, grabbing the thigh like this, and then grabbing this thigh, keeping this off the ground. Keeping this off the ground, and he wants his shoulder in this hip here. Legs straight, pinching the knee, but don't tripod too wide and don't tripod too high. Keep this high pressure. He'll even go the wrong way first and use that pressure to bring his legs around to pass. And he doesn't he says do not put your knee on the ground. Your knee should not touch the ground until you are inside mount. So you're on your toes the whole time for that.
Yeah. As the bottom guy, the pressure here is incredible. It's very hard to move. It's very hard to conceive of an offense.
And you can't get your legs back together to re-guard.
It's very hard to re-guard.
Yeah, you're just there with your legs open. It feels pretty stupid.
We're gonna try. Half guard. We gotta get around this somehow. Easier said than done. I like to get my elbow in between, make space, and then circle through. Grabbing here, going under, my shoulder coming down. I'm gonna little variation.
Let's go back and forth.
Sorry. Oof.
Same side.
One more, that's some resistance. What we're practicing is pressuring down, getting a very strong position and keeping it, and trusting the position, pressure on your shoulder, light on your feet. Easier said than done. How much time we got, Tahric? 10 minutes? Okay, so let's roll from here, 10 minutes?
Yeah, let's go. Hold on a second.
What? Tahric's gonna change his pants. He was unprepared for training. Dungwoman Isha. Ooh. Wow. Oh my god. What? What? Usa. Can't.
Yeah.